Yesterday, I asked the question if Elon Musk is truly not on board with the depop op, as he claims to be, as he claims not to be. That is to say, if unlike the rest of his oligarch, billionaire, trillionaire compatriots, and other and their their henchmen, their allies, their other incredibly influential people. If unlike just about all of them, he does not want to see population growth go down, but wants instead to see it go up, as he has said in several interviews, then why is he all on board with this this company policy to pay employees to be able to leave the state if the state has become a one where abortion is now illegal, to pay to send them to some abortion factory state like California or New York, where they've got these extremist rules in place now, where you can basically kill your kid up to the very point when it's have to come through the birth canal. It's sending very mixed messages. If Elon is on the one hand saying that he wants to see population increase, but on the other hand is adopting the same company policy that so many other corporations are adopting, where they're willing to foot the bill to help one of their employees kill their unborn child. Well, today I got information. Actually, it was last night that I first read about this, and it puts a whole new wrinkle on everything. Possibly. And I'm going to post the link below of where I am getting this information from, and you can have at it. You can say, Snopes.com says that this source is bogus, bro, or something like that. If you're that kind of person. But I to me, these seem to be the stats that are cited appear to be legitimate. But do I know for sure that that's the case? No, I don't know for sure that that's the case. But nevertheless, these stats that the source is citing are alarming, in the sense that what is being exposed is, we see in the first quarter of the year 2022, we see a major drop off in the birth rate. And there again, I will link the article below. It's from Substack, of course. Which is one of the few safe havens for freedom of speech right now on the internet. And I of course have a Substack page which I would invite you all to visit if you haven't visited it yet, andynowicki.substack.com. But on this other Substack page, all of these stats are given, and they are mind-blowing. Let me just cite a couple of them. Let me lead with the most mind-blowing one of all. In the nation of Taiwan, the overall birth rate for the first quarter of the year 2022 is down 23%. 23% fewer births are happening in Taiwan than happened last year, and that have been generally happening over the course of the last few years. There's been this sudden drop off in the birth rate. Now, without putting too fine a point on it, Taiwan is a nation in which the population tends to trust the authorities and tends to do what they are told, believing that those who are in charge have their best interest at heart. It's just sort of the culture of the place. I'm not saying it's a genetic thing. I'm not saying that this is just what people in North Asia do, that they just naturally have this gene to obey authority. But it is at least a cultural thing. So you have in the nation like Taiwan, you had a population that was very, very obedient to the powers that be. When the powers that be said, you need to go visit a clinic and get this substance jabbed into your arm. You need to get badged. Very, very important, people. And the people of Taiwan said yes sir, in overwhelming numbers. And now, interestingly enough, the very next year after the badge was implemented in Taiwan, we see the birth rate take this nosedive. 23% less births than the previous year. That is utterly astonishing, if true. Again, if somebody wants to show me that these stats are bogus, I'm open to that possibility. But from what I can tell, it seemed legit. All right, that's all I can say. I obviously haven't been to Taiwan and counted every child that's been born, and I wasn't there last year to count every child that has been born. So obviously we're relying on statistics amassed by somebody out there. But this same thing correlates to various other places around the globe. And the article speaks of how in Germany, the early part of the first quarter of the year in Germany, there was a 10% drop in the birth rate compared to where it was last year. So over the first 4 months, I believe the first 4 months of 2022, 10% fewer children were born than were born in the first 4 months of 2021. Now that's not as huge of a drop as 23%, but it's still a major drop. And this article goes on to show other places where we see these kinds of trends also taking shape. The article points out how the German authorities attempt to say, oh, no, this has nothing to do with the badge. Don't you think that, you stupid, silly conspiracy theorist? Because they try to claim that it was mostly older people who took the badge, but that was clearly not the case. Clearly, the push, you don't even have to have a very long memory. It wasn't that long ago where they were saying to everybody, you need to get this thing done or else you're screwed. You're not going to have a job. You're not going to be able to go to the store. You're not going to be able to go to the movie theater. They were really pushing it hard time, playing hardball. At first it was the carrot that they were trying to lure us with by saying, oh, you'll get a free donut every day if you get the badge. You'll get a free lap dance from a Las Vegas stripper. I'm not kidding. That was actually something that was offered if you get the badge, and so on and so forth down the line. But eventually it became much more, this is something you better do or else you're in big trouble, mister. So it was not just old people who got the badge in Germany. If you don't know what I mean by the badge, just say it backwards. B-A-J, say that word backwards. I'm using coded language because this is YouTube, censorship central. So with all of these things going on, with these kinds of trends taking place, and of course there's anecdotal things, which is it's sort of harder to declare anything definitive from anecdotal evidence. But I'm subscribed to one site that is dedicated to looking at the effects of the Baj, and there are people who say that everyone that they know who's had the Baj has either had a lot of trouble getting pregnant, or their menstrual cycle has been way out of whack, or this, that, or the other thing has happened. And again, these are anecdotal things, but they go hand in hand with, they track with these statistics that are exposed in this article. And so a part of me wonders, although I really don't, I mean, I am a conspiracy realist, in the sense that I know that there are things that they're plotting and planning that they don't tell us about. I mean, I think you're silly not to be someone like that. But I hesitate to just say everything that happens is, if A is happening, that's just because of B happening over here. Like, this story is in the news just because they want to make us forget about that story over there. I mean, I don't know. Some things you've got to leave up to. There is such a thing as chance. These people who want to control everything, they don't control everything. Even the news cycle, it gets out of their hands sometimes, because sometimes things just happen spontaneously. So I hesitate to just take this too far, but I do wonder, though, if maybe just try this one on for size and reject it if you want to reject it. And I'm not even sure if I don't reject it myself, but it is very interesting that the Supreme Court of the United States aborts Roe. They dunk Roe. They kick Roe to the curb and say, don't come back now, you hear? And basically throw the whole issue of abortion back to the states, where every state has to come up with their own laws legislatively, which is what it should have been all along. This should never have been something that the Supreme Court arrogated to themselves, where they legislated from the bench and decided abortion has to be legal everywhere in every state. But I have to wonder if, amongst the elites, is it now known that, they really kickstarted the depop op, and we're going to have there's going to be a lot more people who are not fertile, and there's going to be a lot fewer babies being born, and maybe that's a cleaner and less messy and less controversial, or less there's no issue if someone is just barren or sterile and can't have children. There's no question of killing a life that's growing inside of them. And so, is it possible that they got clearance, that the Supremes got clearance to kick Roe to the curb after it became clear to them and to all of the elites, let's say, that they are getting their way via the Baj causing mass sterilization, or a vast degree, a vast number of problems that will result in far fewer children being born. It's an interesting correlation, at least, if it's not a causation. So, what do y'all think? Please read the article that I link below, and tell me what your thoughts are on all of this. And Thanks for watching.